Okay, welcome back into obscene delusional faith. This is part two. I'm so excited for the conversation today. You guys, yesterday I had so much fun. I loved hearing from you, seeing your shares, seeing you guys in the chat yesterday. Those of you that were with me live, I love to interact with you. I'm here. Like I said yesterday, like channeling, like bringing this information into this physical plane. But I love when I hear from you guys. So your responsibility being here live with me is to get in the chat and communicate with me, right? If something lands, tell me, connect with each other in the chat. Where are you tuning in from? Who are you? What do you do? Share in the chat, get excited. And then your responsibility, if you're here on the replay, is to treat this as if it is live. Okay, so I want you to turn off distractions, as much as you can, get your notebook out, listen, but integrate, right? I love to take notes. I love to write down things that landed because the chance of me coming back and catching the replay, even though we're saying, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like do what I'm doing and then I'm gonna go back and catch the replay. Most of the time, it doesn't always happen, right? So yes, turn your cameras on. I love seeing your guys' faces. I love hanging out with you here and really being present. Okay, so let's get into today's conversation. Again, I want you guys in the chat. Are we ready? Are we ready for part two? Okay, so we covered B yesterday, and it's a very, very important conversation. So if you missed part one, I would highly recommend that you go and check out part one as well. Okay, today we're talking about doing. Today's about doing, but it's about doing in a new way, okay, in a very new way. So there is, I mean, like, let me let me get into this. For a lot of my life, I had spent my life waiting. Okay, I talked about Laterland yesterday. I shared my experience of how one day I was going to live in Costa Rica with my kids. Like one day my situation was going to change, my business was going to grow, like whatever. Okay, but there became there I had this realization that, you know, the delusion is real, right? Like it is a very, I want to say even necessary piece of quantum leap in your life, of changing your results in a really short amount of time. Delusion is necessary. We create, that's how we create, is we create on the inside first. We create a new idea on the inside in our imagination. Okay, think about that. We literally dream. All those things we've been told to not do growing up, we got to bring them back. We got to remember how to dream. I saw someone on Facebook the other day say that they don't have a, what do they call it? Your inner, no, they called it like, you know how some people say it like on your mind's eye? That's what it was. It's like, I don't have a mind's eye. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sad reading that. Like, I'm so sorry for you. You do, in fact, have a mind's eye. Every single person on this planet is creative. And I also believe that we are entrepreneurial at our core. We have these incredible ideas. If we just watch our kids at a very young age create, they're limitless, they're fearless, they're just like overflowing with inspiration and ideas. But what happened to us? Here we are telling ourselves a story of, I don't know how. I'm not good enough. What if it doesn't work? Oh my goodness. This is obviously a learned behavior. Okay. So there came a time where I realized that the delusion is vital, right? Like I just said, but we must have an exchange. If you are here calling in the millions, you know in your soul you're here to write best-selling books. You're here to be an influential thought leader, right? You're here to lead a global movement. You're here to change lives while you sleep. Okay? You're here to wake up to payment notifications. You're here to create thousands and thousands in monthly recurring revenue before the month even starts. We can be delusional. Yeah, we can. We can be, oh yeah, it's gonna be so nice when. But there needs to be an exchange. So this is where, in my work, the masculine meets the feminine. Okay, because we need to take the action. We need to have the literal exchange. We're going to talk about the law of compensation next. Let's go there. Let's go there. Okay. The law of compensation. Who is new to the laws of the universe? Probably none of you. There are absolute laws that basically, what do I want to say? It's kind of like a playbook, okay? A playbook of the universe. Once we understand these laws, we can actually utilize these laws in our favor. Isn't that beautiful? Instead of working against the laws, we can work with them, okay? So for example, an absolute law, like the law of gravity, is one that many people don't understand. Like, I don't know how gravity works, do you? But it just is. Okay, that's relatable to the law of compensation. There's so many different laws that are always working around us and really govern our human experience. And if we can become aware of them and then learn how to work with them, the law of attraction, law of vibration, right? The law of compensation, these are opportunities for us. Okay, so to make our lives a lot easier, to be honest. Okay, law of compensation states that you'll be compensated based on the need for what you do, how good you are at it, and your ability to be replaced. But who decides these things? Who decides how much of a need there is for what you do? Who decides how good you are at it? And who decides your ability to be replaced? Okay, normally in the societal structure, the status quo, let's say like the system, someone outside of you decides all those things, right? If you're an employee, someone outside of you can determine those things for you sometimes. All right. But really what it comes down to is us. We get to decide those things because we create our own reality from the inside out. We create a new identity for ourselves, and the 3D world follows by law. So think about that for a second. First of all, do you have an exchange? Yes or no? You can let me know in the chat too. I'd love for you guys to get involved in the conversation. Do you have an exchange? Do you have a way? Another way of saying this is, do you have a way for people to pay you right now? And how many different ways do you have available right now for people to pay you? Right? If you want to make 10K months, cash months, and you're selling a $30 offer, the math ain't mathing. Okay, maybe it is if you have a massive audience and you can have those hundreds of people joining into that $30 offer, but it's a lot easier to create a bigger offer, right? So what is your exchange right now? Is the math mathing? Literally, like logically, are we mathing here? And then do you believe that there's a need for what you offer? Okay, we had a conversation yesterday about, not knowing if what it is I'm here to teach. I can't remember exactly the conversation. I can pull it up actually. It's right here. It's like, let's see. Yeah, finding out like what is my gift to the community, not being able to figure it out, and how to create a way to share it. Like these are all like very valuable questions, right? And feelings, very like real feelings, but those can be solved in really minutes. And over time, when we trust ourselves to believe in ourselves enough to take actual action, and when we get our identity behind it, I am this. This is what I love, right? So let's come back to the law of compensation here. So do you believe that there's a need for what you offer? Do you believe that you're good at it? Do you believe that you're unique and irreplaceable? Because if you don't, what's going to be your results? Do you believe that the market is saturated? Do you believe you need to niche down? And you're constantly like, oh my gosh, what is it that I actually do? As a multidimensional visionary woman, do you say that ever? Do you ever ask yourself what it is? Yes, I believe that too, Shelby. I love that. Okay. But we've been taught we need to know, we need to be linear, we need to have like an A to Z sort of thing. Like I will help you get from A to Z. As creatives, it is very common for us to be more abstract in our work, right? This is our art. Our art gets to be unique to us. And in fact, we are in the day and age today when it is almost, I'm going to say, necessary for our art to be abstract. Because guess what happens when it is? We stick out, we stand out among the masses, among the million other people, billion other people on social media. Right? We stand out. And when we are unapologetically unafraid to be ourselves, and we can actually convince ourselves of a new idea and a new identity, we can do anything. But we get to do it our own way. So the bottom line here is you get to trust yourself and you get to make your own rules. It seems kind of funny for me to say that, but the other day, like I said yesterday, I brought it up as well. When I had that opportunity to speak on that stage, I was like, man, I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm just going to pretend I know what I'm doing. I'm just going to slay it because I speak on my own stage all the time and other people's stages via podcasts all the time. And I'm not new around here. And even if I was, I convinced myself I'm not. Do you see the difference? It's so crazy. So we can give ourselves permission to be our wildest, most authentic selves, color outside the lines, and just do what feels good to us, what feels authentic and aligned to us. But we need the exchange. We need the exchange, right? Okay, so your superpower, our superpower as visionary, creative, entrepreneurial women, infinite creativity and innovation, the ability to be innovative, the ability to think outside the box. You know what really scares me, and maybe you guys have had this experience too, is when we see full-grown adults not being able to problem solve. Have you encountered that when you're like, really though? Did that just happen? You know, it's like the amount of people today that can't actually think for themselves. It's kind of worries me. That freaks me out. And then when we think about the kids, you know, maybe not our kids, because we're actually very unconventional, right? We're all of us here, we're very unconventional. We're quite radical. Maybe we're homeschoolers as well, unschoolers, like we're travelers. How many people can't make a decision? Yeah, that's another conversation. Oh my goodness. But I mean, when something happens, people can't figure it out, like find a solution. Instead, there's like, if there's a problem, it's almost like they look around waiting for someone else to solve it, or they just throw their hands up and say, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But our superpower as creative beings, spiritual, infinite creative beings, is infinite creativity and innovation. Okay, we have, I think, like this global problem where people are giving away their power. And now with the rise of AI, oh my goodness, we don't even need to think anymore. And that's even scarier. We thought there was a problem, now there's really a problem. When we use ChatGPT, we don't even need to, we don't even need to think. We don't even need to think. Okay. So it is up to us when we're talking about our exchange, when we're talking about doing differently, when we're talking about leaning into obscene delusional faith, it comes down to us being able to maintain that creative essence of who we are, of who we are. Because if we don't, we're going to lose it. We're going to lose it. And we're going to get lost, right? We're going to be lost among the masses of everyone else doing something similar, you know? So it's up to us to get so granular and so specific on what makes us us, what really lights you up. Okay, so this is the question I love to ask, and I would love you to ask yourself, okay, what would I love? Because that's all it comes down to. What would I love? Such a glorious, glorious question. That's all it comes down to. What makes me unique? What would I love? Okay, the only prerequisite is desire. I desire to change my situation. Therefore, I'm going to go and do it. What would I love? What would you love? Especially those of you that are here because you're like, well, I'm relying on faith. Like maybe you've started a business, or maybe you have had a business for a while, or you have multiple businesses. Maybe you have affiliate businesses as well as your own company. Like, or maybe you're here and you're like, I know I need an exchange. Money is the thing that has pulled me back from living my dream life. And I'm not just waiting around for money to come to me anymore. I'm actually going to create it. I'm actually going to educate myself. That's why you're here, learning how to create the exchange. Yeah, I would love to guide and help other mothers feel empowered. Yes, absolutely. Let's go bigger. Okay, there's a need for that. So empowered on all levels, not just it. I mean, like I know you're focused on health and wellness, but empowered is such a broad word. So where can you go bigger than that? What does empowerment mean? So many good questions, right? So what would you love to contribute to the world? And that during support my life as an independent mother. Yes, you're also an entrepreneur. Most of those women that you're empowering are probably leaning towards entrepreneurship because we're all entrepreneurs at our core. Look back centuries. We were all entrepreneurs before the Industrial Revolution, where we were basically manipulated into believing that working for someone else was better, or buying your tomatoes at the shop was better than growing your own. Okay, but here we are coming back to our roots, especially in the States, Canada, Europe. Costa Rica is a lot different. But here we are coming back to that realization now, I'm an entrepreneur, and now we need to unlearn all of these tendencies, beliefs, and habits that we've collected along the way around not being worthy, around, you know, I don't even know, not knowing how, right? And then let them go. So what would you love? What else? You could do anything. If I could like be, do, and have anything, what would I love? What are you really good at is another good question. You know, what are you obsessed with and could talk about for a week straight without stopping? Do that. There is a way to monetize that. And that is something I can personally help you with. Choose that all in. Yes or yes, this is happening. No plan B. Go bigger. Okay. That is um, one thing that I see that happens is we don't go big enough. We're not leaning into that 10x, like that illogical, delusional essence, right? How can I go even bigger than that? Do that, choose that, okay? Hire someone to help you map it out. Use ChatGPT to map it out, and then a coach for moral support, personal support. Just go for it, right? So all of this comes down to your identity, who you believe you are. Okay, right now, if I was to ask you, like, do you believe you're the CEO of a $1 million company? Do you believe you're the CEO of a $1 million company? And then if we imagine how that version of you would be, the CEO of a $1 million company, multiple best-selling books on Amazon, right? Hire Jocelyn. Yeah, right. Do you believe in your soul, in your cells, that you are the CEO of a $1 million company right now? No? Then why not? And that's the golden keys. Those are the pieces that will unlock that being your reality. What is the separation? We're going to go through a visualization today, and we're going to interview, in a sense, that version of us who has and is living our dream life, right? Fully and completely, because there's always more available. Because that's what it comes down to, the identity. Yeah. I do believe in me. I'm the CEO of my company and my life. Yes. Yes. All right. Love this. So let's come back to faith. Remember yesterday we spoke on being an infinite spiritual being having a human experience. An infinite spiritual being. We are not this human experience. We are not this human body. This is our vehicle, our vessel. Okay, we are not this 3D experience. We are not our results. We are not what happens. Everything that happened up until right here now made us who we are today. It happened for us, not to us. Every situation, even no matter how traumatic it was, happened for us. How can we alchemize it into that? Into an opportunity, into realizing, holy cow, it's made me who I am today. This is who I am, and it's a gift. I am a gift. I say this often, like, this work I feel is my karmic responsibility. Like, I've created this for myself, and I don't think this is the first time, and it definitely isn't the last. I create incredible things all the time for myself and my family, and now I get to choose. I show other women how to do the same. That's incredible. Okay, so what we've lived through as a mentor or a coach, if you are leaning towards that exchange and you were feeling called towards mentorship and coaching, I personally love looking back through your life. What has happened for me, who made me who I am today, that I can actually support other women, people, families in moving through in a fraction of the time with way more joy and community, right? That is mentorship, and it's so beautiful. There's nothing you need to force. There's nothing you need to figure out. You're a living, walking, breathing, embodied example of your work. And I think that's really beautiful. Okay, saying that, just because I've manifested moving to Costa Rica alone as a single mom, leaving government housing, going to Costa Rica, it's not normal, right? But just because I've done that doesn't mean I can't help someone else do something completely different. Okay, so manifestation has a formula, and that's part of what I'm teaching you here today. So it doesn't matter what you have. Bob Proctor used to say this all the time. Tell me what you want and I can show you how to get it. There is a formula, and it is absolute. Karmic responsibility, Shelby. Yeah, you've lived an incredible life. And you have all this wisdom and information and knowledge and passion. It would be irresponsible, I feel like, for us to stay quiet, right? So special. So when we're speaking on faith, like, it comes down to the realization and remembering that we are not just this human experience. We're so much more, and we are not alone. If we are moving through our life and our businesses, believing we need to figure it out, believing we need to piece it together and work really hard and do the work, we are essentially playing God. Okay, I know some people don't like that word. I use that word quite loosely. We are playing like universe. Okay? And when we think of it this way, we can actually take the pressure off of ourselves. That pressure, that, you know, the feeling of like when you get in this like control mode where you're like, I need this to work. I need to like piece it together. I'm trying to think of the emotion behind this. It feels like, okay, we get into the mind. That's what it is. We get into the human mind. Yeah, playing creator. We get into the human mind and we start asking ourselves, okay, I need to know how is this going to work? How can I line this up? And I can start to piece this together with my analytical mind. Because remember, the mind loves to know how. The mind loves to see how it's going to work and be really logical, okay? But when we do that, we limit ourselves, like insanely limit ourselves. Because when we play in the spiritual infinite realms, things don't need to make sense. Just like yesterday, we were talking about the quantum field, right? It's energy, it's energetic. So if we have a desire that doesn't make any sense, that's awesome. That's great. That's even better, because that is where the 10x comes from, because it's an identity shift. Okay, this doesn't make any logical sense, but I'm actually just going to decide right now that I am that version of me. I am open and ready to receive. Okay, my exchange, I've got my exchange set up. It's there, and I'm going to embody that version of me who is the $1 million CEO of my company. The door is open, the open sign is on. Here we are. How can I get creative? How can I speak on more stages, get in front of more people? How can I pitch myself? How can I present myself as that version of me now? She probably has an assistant, right? A marketing assistant, someone who does those reach outs for you, someone who does your graphics for you, like whatever it is. How can you move as her now? Because waiting until the money comes is not the answer. Okay, our birthright is abundance. Our birthright is overflow, joy, health, happiness, purpose, entrepreneurship. To live in bliss every single day, not lack. Lack is a man-made thing. All over the world, there is lack, but it's not a supply and demand issue. It is a consciousness issue. It is an awareness issue that doesn't necessarily have to do with the people, you know, what do you want to call that? Like the community. It more so has to do with Often, more often than not, the government, the people that are in control, right? So at the bottom line, like we need to be able to be creative and be innovative and tap into this infinite source creative energy. How do we do that? Through trusting in ourselves and into something bigger than us, having faith in the unseen. Okay, we also need human connection. We need connection to that something bigger than us, right? That infinite possibility, that idea of the quantum field, whether you believe it exists or not, the quantum source, universe, creator. Bottom line is to know that we're not alone. We're not here just humaning our way forward, right? There is a greater plan and we get to choose. We get to choose through decision making, through being able to make a decision. Okay. So decision making and creating the demand for more. I love this conversation so much because there was a time in my life when I used to let the universe lead. And maybe that's you now. The universe doesn't let you down, you know? It doesn't. It always works out in the end. But if you want to move mountains, if you want to do really big things, if you want to create a legacy for your family, if you want to break out of generational trauma, lack, limitation, you need to make a decision. It's on you, not the universe. The universe will guide you. It'll keep you, creating more of the same. But when we make a decision, like we talked about yesterday, everything changes inside. And that's how we change our outer world, is through changing our inner world first. So we need to be able to make a decision in order for the bridge of incidents to be able to unfold. What is the bridge of incidents? Okay, it's that thing that, that happens where I'm trying to explain it in a way that's common. I mean, for example, I decided on the side of the road, just after crashing my mom's truck, right? My baby's in the car, my life is flashing before my eyes. I decided I'm going to Costa Rica, right? I'm like, I don't know how. The money's not here. My business is okay, but it's not like I'm not there yet, And I made that decision. What happened after that? All of a sudden, I came in contact with a friend who lived in Costa Rica. What the, like, that is, you can't make that up. Like, that is not a coincidence. People are like, oh, what a nice coincidence. I'm like, God damn no. Like, I don't believe in any coincidence, okay? This is the bridge of incidents. Of course. I'm like, oh, I actually know someone who lives in Costa Rica. What happens after that? I begin to move differently. My business starts to grow differently. I begin to attract differently. Law of attraction, law of vibration. I'm vibrating differently. I'm attracting different clients into my world, different leaders into my world who want to work with me in my business. Is that coincidence? No. That is because I made a decision. And I made a decision with the certainty that you have when you book a plane ticket and you pack your bags. That was the decision, the certainty, the level of certainty. Okay, you guys all know, you've probably been on a plane. When you book a plane ticket, and especially if you get the one the one that's the non-refundable one, like your bags are getting packed, okay? So that was it. I made the decision. I don't care what happens. I'm going to Costa Rica. Before the first snowflake of this coming snow year, I am going to Costa Rica with my kids. At that point in time, I didn't even have contact with their dad. You talk about needing to know the how and needing all the details, needing the permission before you make the decision. It's garbage. You don't. Make the decision, and then the bridge of incidents begins to unfold. Everything begins to happen in your favor. Everything begins to line up, and it doesn't make sense. This is what we're talking about, that quantum leap situation. It doesn't make logical sense. If it made logical sense, not a quantum leap. Okay, I'm pretty sure it would take some hustle, a lot more energy, right? A lot more time. If I would have, just like I said yesterday, continued to put one foot in front of the other, hustling, figuring it out. Okay, one day will come, one day will come. Maybe 2 years from now, I'll be able to be in Costa Rica. Excuse me, it's not the same. Okay, we don't want to wait. right? Tell me in the chat. Do you want to wait? Do you want to keep waiting for your life to happen, for your business to grow? Do you want to keep living how your current, results are, which they don't have to be bad. There's always more available. That's the biggest thing is we don't need to, we've been brainwashed into believing that wanting more is selfish. Guys, wanting more has given me the opportunity to be here, right? And lead you through this and show you what's possible. Wanting more is a gift. It is a human gift. Okay, if we don't want more, there is something wrong. Okay, because humans are always for progress, expansion, fuller expression, more joy, more bliss. This does not mean hustle. Oh, this does not mean hustle. This does not mean we're not enjoying the present moment. It's this and more. Oh my gosh, I'm so open and ready for more, right? Do you tell yourself that all the time? More, please. More, please. Oh my gosh, how exciting. Okay, so let's talk about creating the demand for more through decision making. This is beautiful, and a lot of people avoid it. Okay, I created the demand for more through making a decision that I was going to Costa Rica. I didn't know where the money was going to come from. I didn't know that my business was going to grow like that. I created the demand for more. Okay, so I see it all the time. For example, I was speaking with a friend the other day. She was like, yeah, we were living in like this okay condo. And then I decided I wanted to live in a 4-bedroom house. And I decided to just go for it. And it worked out. And here I am, I don't know where the money comes from, but it works. It comes. And I was like, you created the demand for more. You're rising to the plate. Okay. So I spoke a little bit yesterday about how adaptable we are as humans. This is what I mean. We create the demand for more. When we um when we like move to a new place, for example, and it feels really stretchy. When I first got to this place we live in now, like I went to the pool and I was like, oh my gosh, this place is so nice. Like it is so nice. And I'm sitting there just like, this is for me. Like this is it. And more please, more please. And it's so funny because instantly, I mean, not like right away, but time goes by, days go by, weeks go by, and we begin to normalize our surroundings. Do you do that? Yeah, we can even go somewhere on a vacation, extended vacation. This is very common. You stay somewhere for a couple months. And after the first couple weeks, you've already normalized the thing, the new place. We are so insanely adaptable. So I see that as like expanding our capacity to hold more. That's exactly what that is. And so if we're creating the demand for more, for example, moving into this luxury condo, I was like, I created the demand for more. We moved in here, and now I have, what's the word for that? It's like climatized. I have adapted. I have now regulated, normalized this being my reality. Okay, now it's this or something more. I never want to go backwards. I had my mom come visit one time and she said, why do you need such a big house? Why don't you move into a smaller house and save your money? And I was like, oh, that is a very limiting belief right there. That is a thought of lack, nothing else, right? And I was like, not a chance. There was one time where we moved out of our nice big house into a small house while we were looking for another one. And I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever done because it's almost like you know too much. Have you been somewhere or done something? Even, for example, we went to Nicaragua a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, although like the simple living, I respect it. And like, I love camping. Don't get me wrong. Like I can go and live in a mountain for quite a while, like those sorts of things. But I was there and I was like, oh man, like, I feel like I know too much. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to. Like, I don't know. I hope that this makes sense. But when we, and there we go, like right away, I just caught myself feeling my inner, something inside of me saying like, You sound like an asshole. You sound like a rich asshole. Like, no. So there's right away, like we can catch ourselves. That's what I'm talking about yesterday when we were like studying ourselves, right? Catch yourself. Why? And question it. Okay, well, why am I even afraid or even embarrassed to voice those things that I am not okay with basic, just, surviving? Interesting. We've evolved. We have evolved. But it's almost like we know too much. Because if you have a conversation with somebody there, which I did, they believe they're living their best life ever. And I'm like, that is great. I love that for you. But I know it's almost like I've seen too much. I've experienced too much. So anyway, I hope you get what I'm saying there. And if you are triggered by what I'm saying, then maybe there's something to unpack there as well. I'm not sure. All right. So let's go through a visualization. Okay. If you guys are ready, and like I'm going to record this on a different device so that I can add some music onto it, and I will put it into our replay page so you can come back and you can listen to it again. But I want to take us on a little bit of a journey to meet this highest version of us. Okay, so before we do, I want you to get out a piece of paper if you have on handy, or use your notes on your phone. And I want you to ask yourself what you would ask her. Okay, when I speak of your highest self, in case you're newer here, what is your highest self? It is the version of you that is experiencing everything that you can currently perceive as being possible for you. Okay. So you don't need to know how. That's not what I mean. Our mind is limited in our perception. So right now, if I ask you, what would you love? Anything's possible. What would you seriously love? I'm going to probably respond to your answer with, how can we go bigger? Because there's always more to become aware of. There's always more to become aware of. So from your current level of perception right now, when you ask yourself, what would I love? If anything's possible, what would I love? It's her. She's already living it. Remember yesterday we talked about the quantum field and everything already existing in different realities. We're going to travel through time to go and hang out with her. And we're going to ask her these questions. So I would suggest that you write down at least 3 questions that you would ask her. And we're going to go and we're going to ask her the questions. Okay, so something that I love to do actually, and maybe you can feel this too, is that when I write these down, when you're writing these down, maybe as you're writing, you can actually feel the answers coming through. Has anyone done that before? Okay, an example of a question. It could be like, how do we feel about this? How do we do this? What would you do about this? Maybe if there's something you're working on right now, something you're kind of like at a crossroads in some way. How can we go bigger is another one. Literally anything. Hope that helps. But as you're writing them, I write a lot, and sometimes, if not all the time, I can feel the answers coming through. So if ever I'm working on something, or I'm feeling puzzled about something, or I'm like feeling uncertain about something, I write it down and I allow this information to channel through me. Okay, there is a book called Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch. It's for free on YouTube. But this is essentially with the whole book. I think he has multiple books on this, and he calls it channeling God, right? He has this conversation. Yeah. He has a conversation with his highest self. And it's so cool. And we have that ability to channel that now. So anytime there's like any sort of hesitation, we can actually ask for guidance from that version of us. Okay, so how do I feel that other people perceive? How do I feel that other people perceive me now? Oh, okay. Yeah. So another way to reframe that could be like, um, hmm, how do we feel about judgment? How do we feel about judgment? And honestly, yeah, I mean, okay, let's go. Um, all right. So when you're ready, I want you to find a comfortable seat, get comfortable, roll your shoulders up and back. It's okay if you're holding a child or two. It's okay if there's noise around you. It doesn't matter. Just close your eyes. If you're in a safe space to do so, do not do this if you're driving. You can keep your eyes open and you can still listen. Then I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose. Okay, take another deep breath in through your nose, fill your body. And exhale through the straw, nice and slow. And as you do so, feel yourself grounded, feel the earth beneath you. Take another breath. Remind yourself that you are safe. It is very safe to do this work. I got you. I will guide you. And take another breath here. Just letting your nervous system calm down. And when you're ready, the next inhale, I'm going to get you to imagine and feel that you are lifting up and out of your body, that your spirit, your infinite source, creative energy, you are leaving your human body for a moment. And I want you to hover above, feel as if you are hovering above your body. And I want you to look down and see your human body sitting there exactly as you left it, peaceful, smile on your face. And I want you to take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to start to float through timelines into the future. And I want you to stop right above the moment that you have manifested, realized everything that you've been calling in, the success, the community, the fame, the wealth, the impact. Take a breath here. And as you exhale, see this situation, this experience playing out below you. So you are above this experience, observing, and you see that version of you. You see her so clearly. You see people around her. Where is she? I want you to take another breath here. And as you exhale, you sink down into that reality, into that time and space, into that exact moment in time. And I want you to look around. Where are you? What are you doing? And as you look around, you begin to move around, observing your surroundings, and you see that version of you right in front of you. Maybe she's a little away from you. You walk over to her. And as you do, her back is towards you. You take a breath as you observe her from behind. And then as you get closer, you tap on her shoulder and she turns around. What do you notice? Take another breath here. Time feels like it doesn't exist. And you smile at her and say, "Hi, I am a younger version of you. And I'm here to ask you a few questions for guidance." She smiles like she's been expecting you. And she says, "Yes, of course. Anything, ask me anything." Now is your opportunity to ask her. Take a breath and ask her your first question. You can say it out loud or in your imagination. And then I want you to hear, feel, see her response. Take another breath. As you communicate with this version of you, your second question, tune in and notice how you're feeling as she responds. And maybe you don't hear it per se, but you feel it. Keep this in mind. And if you have another question, ask her. Feel her response. Notice her body language and her energy. Notice how she feels. Notice how you feel right now. And I want you to take a deep breath in and exhale, allowing this feeling, this information to be absorbed. And then when you're ready, you give her a hug. Her energy, how does it feel? Warm, inviting, exciting. Like she is your biggest cheerleader. She's welcoming you forward. Notice how you feel. You thank her for her time. And as you exhale, you begin to turn around, and right next to you, there is this screen. Okay, you turn around, and now you're facing this screen that feels it. It's almost like it's like a movie screen, and you notice on the movie there's a movie playing. But this isn't your average movie. You were on that screen, but this is you even more in the future. This is another version of you. What do you see on the screen? You observe it. What do you see? What is happening on the screen? Take another breath here as you absorb this information. And exhale. In your imagination, you put one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. You take another breath in as you close your eyes. And as you exhale, you float up and out of this time frame, back up into the quantum field. You see this scenario playing, continuing to play beneath you, below you, as you hover above it. You take another inhale. And exhale, you begin to float back through time, floating back through time. And you stop right above your now, right here and now. And you see your body. You look down and you see yourself exactly as you left your body. Take an inhale and exhale gently, softly, floating down back into your human body, your vehicle, your vessel. Take a breath as you land. Feel your chest rising and falling. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, feeling yourself fully arriving back in your body of right now. Take another full inhale. And as you are ready, you can open your eyes and you look around the room, wherever you're seated. You've fully arrived back in your here and now. And I want you to take another breath and grab your notebook and write down whatever you feel called to. Okay. How was that experience? Tell me in the chat. Did you realize anything new? Did you receive any new information? If this is your first time traveling through time like this, sometimes it can take a little bit of practice, right? It can take a little bit of practice to be able to tune those muscles, to strengthen your muscles. And honestly, it comes down to trusting yourself again. That's what I see, the biggest thing. Trusting yourself, trusting in your ideas, trusting in your imagination. Okay, so maybe, like I mentioned, you felt the information. Let me know in the chat, did you feel, or did you see, or did you hear? Keep going, don't give up, this is who you are. Yes. That's it. So good. Saw and heard. Love it. So amazing. So the embodiment of a new identity, a new identity, a new idea, and a new identity. Stop worrying so much. Love that. Worry is from the human mind, right? That's you, your human experience. That's you trying to play creator, right? That's what worry is. It's trying to control. And worry also is a powerful manifester. We don't want to manifest more worry, more opportunity to be worried. So yes, embodiment of a new identity. So once the awareness is there, the ball is in your court. Okay, she said, stop worrying so much. Now the light is on. Anytime that worry comes back in, we now know, we have the awareness to say, I know exactly where this is coming from. This is my mind. This is my human trying to run the show. And I am not my human body. I'm not this human experience. I'm going to actually surrender. And I'm going to believe and I'm going to have faith. Ah, okay. So some things to reflect on as we think about what we just experienced is like, how did she move? How did she dress? What were her non-negotiables? What were her standards? What did she no longer tolerate? These are big questions. And they might feel like, why does this matter? It matters. It matters. Because this is how we close the gap in identity. This is how we create a new idea from the inside out. When our standards are, for example, to please other people, put other people before us, make sure everyone else is happy, what's going to manifest? We're the one that's not happy. We're not doing the things that are really in true alignment with us and who we are. She was light and flowy, powerful, grounded. Yes. Laughing, giggling, just loving life, enjoying, not a care in the world. Here's the realization is we can live that way now. Okay, I have been playing with, we're going to talk about this more tomorrow, but I wanted to bring it up today anyway. I've been playing with time as we know it. And something that I know about my highest self is she has a really good relationship with time. Okay, time as we know it is a man-made concept, but time itself is not linear. So we have the ability, like we just experienced, to travel through time. we also have the ability to bend time. I bend time all the time, and it's so fun. And I say to myself now, for example, like today, I do it all the time. Like, um, 5 minutes before 9, sorry, 9, when we started our conversation, my daughter and my partner were still sleeping in the bed. And I'm sitting in front of my bed right now. Like I work in my room. And I was like, hello, I need the room now. Can you get out? They're still sleeping. But I'm like, I'm gonna bend time. I'm just gonna bend time. And honestly, I went and I made a tea. Like I made myself a piece of toast, and I'm like, I looked at the time and I swear to God, I was like, I swear it was 5 minutes to 9 when I looked at the clock. And then I sat down at the table after I'd already made my tea and toast, and it was 6 minutes to 9. I'm not even joking. I was like, what just happened? And I just giggle now because it's hilarious. I think it's so fun. So, how is her relationship with time? How is her relationship with time? What does she tell herself? Okay, because, right, um, our words create, right? Our words create. So if we're saying, I never have enough time, I need to do more, especially as entrepreneurial moms, and even especially as single moms, we have a lot on our plate. So we have a lot of things that could keep us really busy, right? And so when it comes to our business, we begin to almost create this idea that there's a lot to do, so much work to do. Oh my God. You ever said that to yourself? I have so much to do. And we're like, we kind of like we like bend time in the opposite way, time against ourselves. And the time begins to move really fast. And we don't get as much done. And we just feel there's a state of like being like we're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You go to the beach with your kids, and in your head, you're like, gosh, I have so much work to do. You've done that before? Okay. You're like present, but you're not at the same time. This is how we use time against ourselves. So, what I've started doing is becoming really aware with my relationship with time. Because, like I said, that version of me, my highest self, oh man, she spends time all the time. So, I want you to just keep this in mind. Like I said, we'll talk about it again tomorrow, but rush is lack. Rush speeds up time, right? We see this all the time. If we're doing something that we love, or if we're like immersed in our work and we're trying to go as fast as we can and get as much as we can done so that we can have more time present with our kids. It's just such an like it just works in the opposite way. So if we can slow down, and if you feel overwhelmed with the amount of things that you believe you need to do, simply get out a piece of paper and write down all the things you need to do. And you will probably notice that there's actually not that many things that you need to do. So I've been very, very, very specific with my business, especially lately, of actually when I make that time for my designated work time, I know exactly what I'm working on, and I am like insanely efficient. So that when I'm not working, I'm not working. Okay, I do not have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So I feel like that is just like such a killer with entrepreneurship and especially motherhood. Like we need to be able to give ourselves and our children that complete full presence. Okay, so rush is lack. Check your relationship with time and begin to play with it. Okay. So to close up for today, you guys, be do have. So today we start to move differently. We start to do differently. We start to choose differently, make different decisions. Maybe we start to invest differently. We start to ask for help and support differently, right? We start to move differently. So tomorrow we're going to wrap up with expanding your capacity to hold more. That's the how. Even when the contrast shows up, even when it looks grim, even when it gets hard and uncomfortable, we're going to lean way into faith, delusional, obscene faith, right? And we're going to have, okay, I have an opportunity I have an opportunity for you as well tomorrow. I mentioned that something really special is opening back up for enrollment. If you know that you are here to quantum leap your experience, your life, your business, your future business, this is for you because we go together. Okay, this is for you if you love to be in community, surrounded by other women who are moving at the pace you are, who are completely in their fourth dimension, in their imagination, who are committed to dreaming in a way that doesn't make sense and making the moves that most people are too scared to make. Okay, because it's quite one thing, you know, as a mentor, a coach, a leader, as a service provider, our clients are there with us at the end result, right? But who's there with you through the thick of it? Who is there with you through the thick of it? We are. That's why a coach, a mentor, a community of other women making the same moves is so powerful and potent, because we don't just celebrate the end result. We celebrate the messy middle. We hold you higher, right? We go together. So embodiment homework today is be here now. Sounds simple, but we did some studying yesterday, right? We watched ourselves. We watched our the way we move, our thoughts, everything. Now we're going to close the gap and be her. What is in the way, if anything? What is holding you back from being her now? Let me know in the chat. Is there judgment? Is there fear? Is there doubt? Is there anything holding you back from being her now? Because that is your opportunity to write it out, shed some light on it, get to know it. Why am I feeling this way? Question it. Hey, Kelty, I am her. Yeah, you are. Oh my gosh. Be her now. Hey, if there's anything in the middle, we get to question it and we get to prove it wrong, essentially. Yeah. Oh, that's huge. That's huge, Shelby. Yeah. Hasn't worked in the past, so it's not going to work this time. Prove yourself wrong. Watch me. Right? Sometimes it's like that. It's a game with the mind. Fucking watch me. I'm not who I was even 5 minutes ago. Let's go. Right? It is a serious, it can feel like a mental battle sometimes. But again, that's the importance of being in the room with other women who will remind you of that. And that's why you're here. Yay. Okay, you guys. So good to see you. See you again tomorrow for our part 3, our final section of our final piece of faith. Okay. The bonus mastermind is right after. Okay, so that's where we're going to come off mute. We're going to share together. We're going to get vulnerable, claim it. What are we calling in? Go bigger. And we're going to talk about it. It's not a Q&A. This is a mastermind. A mastermind is when we come together. It's a group of people who come together with a common mission, vision, dream, goal, and we hold each other higher. We talk together. We offer suggestions and support, and we go bigger together. Okay, so fun. You guys might have noticed that there's an option to upgrade to VIP, which is private coaching. There's a link right on the replays page. I gave you guys a code for a 33% difference in price. I don't like to say discount because we're not discounting anything. It is a gift. So go in there if you feel like you need even just one call with me to get really clear. I call it a clarity call. Like, let's do it. I gave you a discount. If you want to jump into longer term coaching, my goodness, this is what a brilliant opportunity to do so. The link is all on the replay page. If you have any questions for me, or if you want to reach out to me directly, just message me anytime, Facebook, Instagram, and let's connect. Hey, go have a beautiful day, you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me live. I hope that was so helpful. And oh my gosh, I can't wait for tomorrow's conversation. So I'll see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. Bye, you guys.